One of the best hours you can spend with your spouse.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Landlord Coach Daily Ish Show. My name is Mark Dolfini, Landlord Coach and host of the Landlord Coach Daily Ish Show. I hope you're having an amazing day. I'm having an awesome day. My bride and I had an awesome evening last night. And the context of this show is one of the best hours you could spend with your spouse. Now, get your minds out of the gutter. We're not talking about the obvious. We're talking about something that's probably not so obvious. And that was us sitting down for a deliberate, intentional hour to go through where we want our lives to go. I mean, I'm all about vision in relation to the vision infrastructure process method, the VIP method that I wrote about in my book. But no, last night we set aside this time to go through our vision, to write down specifically where we were looking to go, what we were wanting to do, different things we wanted to accomplish. And it was that sort of thing. So it was interesting because it might be easy to think like, well, I kind of know where I want to go. I have a feeling where I want to go. But when you sit down with your spouse and you really have that intentional conversation about really where it is that you're wanting to go, really what it is that you're wanting to do, man, that is probably one of the best hours you could spend with someone that you want in your life. Now, some of my bride and I, we struggled. I mean, we struggled hard, to the point of last year, a summer ago, seems like forever ago. But we were ready to call it quits. And, for, really good friends that surrounded us, and through literally nothing short of the grace of God that saved our marriage, got us heading in the right direction, and are doing amazing now. And to the point now that we're excited to stop in our day, turn the TV off, and sit just one-on-one, face-to-face, vis-a-vis, sitting there talking to one another about intentional, deliberate things that we wrote about in our visions. And it was just such an amazing time. Now, I have a vision course that I, walk my students through. So I was walking her through those things, just like I would walk through that I walked through myself. And it was so amazing about what I learned going through the vision discovery process, just learning different things that I thought that I knew about my bride, and things she probably thought about me, and things that we were like really seriously almost at a kind of a crossroads in our relationship of where we want to take our lives. Even to the thought of, things that we never would have gotten really serious in terms of, where do we want to live going forward? Or do we want to expand our family, and if so, what does that look like? Things like that, right? Just things that were just really, really cool that we had such an intentional and deliberate conversation about that I never would have thought that we would have had. And I'm, my personality, I tend to be, where I'm always looking for the next thing, the next growing opportunity, the next thing to stretch myself. And to a certain degree, Jen does as well. And it's not profound for me to say that we naturally understand that growth, that success occurs at the extremes, right? We naturally understand. That's not profound. We know that growth comes at the outer edges of our comfort zone. That's not profound. We all know that's where we grow, we stretch, we become better people. The trick is learning to manage our lives while we're out there at those extremes, right? Life doesn't stop just because we want to decide to stretch ourselves, right? Or if we're out there doing the real estate hustle, doing the things that are important to us in terms of growing and stretching, we're all out there flexing our hustle muscle, right? That's the real estate hustle that everybody knows that they're aware of, right? That's the thing. And some of us used to wear it like a badge of honor. Now, I don't want to work that that long of hours anymore. I don't mind working hard, but I don't want to work that much. I mean, I don't want my working hard for, blocks of time to do sprints. I can do sprints all day, but I don't want to run a marathon at 100 miles an hour all day. That's not fun. I've done that, and it landed me flat in the hospital, flat on my back with double pneumonia at 37 years old. I don't want to go that route again. So, when we took our time to, and it was really funny because I had this, whole process broken down, answer all these questions and all this stuff. And at the end of the day, my wife just kind of had a paragraph of things that were as important to her, and she didn't go through it. So I don't, I say this a lot. I don't care how the soup is made as long as the soup is delicious. And, the way that she made her soup, if you will, it came out to a beautiful compilation of things that she wants in our life together. And there were certain things on that vision that she had, which had absolutely nothing to do with me, did not involve me in any way, with the exception of, keeping the family unit running while she did other stuff that was in her passion. Things that are just not they're not important to me, right? But I mean, if they're important to her, of course they're important to me. But I'm not going to say like, oh, because she wants to go do a knitting class, for example, like I don't want to be, I don't want to get into knitting. No, that's her thing, right? Like she needs to have a thing too. She needs to have things that she's involved with, and there was things that I want to do, right? Like one of the things in my vision is I want to become a competitive shooter. I want to become a competitive pistol shooter. That's something that I know I'm good at. I know I enjoy. And even if I'm not good at it, who cares? I just get to go do it because that's something that I really, really like, right? Another one, it was interesting because even though we hadn't compared notes, and we had not compared notes on purpose in advance of this, but one of the things that I had put down in in a piece of the vision was, one of my goals was to have a closer relationship with God. But part of the reason, or one of the goals along the way, was to read the Bible from beginning to end by the end of next year. And that's a fairly aggressive goal because we've never been through it before. But she also had the same goal, which I thought was pretty interesting because we had not compared notes and we had not really talked about that at all. So it was a really, really interesting thing. And I'm telling you, that was one of the best hours we've probably spent alone together, just, getting, almost reintroducing ourselves to our future selves in terms of what it is that we want. And when you have that ferocity of purpose, when you know where you're headed, nothing is going to get in your way. And I know where our vision is. I mean, we've got some ironing out to do, but I know what our closely held vision is. And it's a super cool feeling to have that. So, all right. Well, anyway, if there's anybody that needs any help with any of that stuff, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. I'm happy to help you any way that I can. Of course, that is part of the course, but not trying to sell courses. I'm just more interested in helping you out with your vision if there's any way that I can do that. But okay, so I have a most ridiculous item of the day, and it's a true gem. So let's go ahead and kick that off and finish this up for the day.
So ridiculous.
Yes, indeed. So ridiculous. So this is a bathtub straight out of a car wash design. Okay. That's right. That is carpet. So someone either had excess carpet that they wanted to get a little creative with, or you know what? They probably just thought, I'm kind of done with towels. I'm a very busy person. I don't even want to have to deal with toweling myself off. I just want to be able to just slide my way out of the bathtub and I'll be done. If you look at this, there's no towel bars anywhere around that you can. So maybe as gross as it might sound, that might actually be the case. So anyway, that's the most ridiculous item of the day. Let's go ahead and wrap this up with the thought of the day. We are kept from our goal, not by obstacles, but by a clear path to a lesser goal. And that is by Robert, I'll say Brault, maybe Bro. I have no idea how you say his last name. He's an author, has written a dozen or so different books. Good stuff that he has out there. That's all I have for today, guys. Please be sure to place a value on your free time, because if you don't, someone else will. But most important, there is no amount of money that will make time irrelevant. I'll see you next time.